And welcome back to Who Would Win, the week of Who Would Wins. And we're pretty much done with the week of Who Would Wins. Once again, I get through another week of Who Would Wins. I've gotten pretty good at doing these. And someone actually asked me, why do you put so much effort into the channel if you only got 590 subscribers? First off, I didn't even realize I had a new subscriber at the time. 590? We hit 590? Right on. But at the same time, how do you think I got the 590? I literally started with nothing while doing nothing but talking in front of a screen. I have no effects whatsoever. It's it takes a lot of work to get to. Some people have the skills, the tech, the ability to get there instantly, or they'll have a built-in fan base. Other people, not so much. I was one of those people who didn't have a built-in fan base. I had to work my fan base up. And I'm thankful to every one of you who continues to watch and subscribe, so thanks very much. So that's my response to that person. I'm not going to say that person's name. And I'm not being mean about it. I don't think you were actually being mean about it. I just think you were asking a question, and that's cool. Yeah, and plus, I do this mostly just as a hobby. It's just a hobby I really like doing, so I just keep it up. Anywho, with that being said, Shadow King asked the question, who would win a fight? Ghost Rider, who I've had on the show before a few times, and Danny Phantom, who I've definitely had on the show before a few times. Now, Shadow King, I'm going to do every one of them. You give me a lot of suggestions, buddy, so I'll get through them all. But remember, I also have other people I go through, so yeah, it'll be a while before I go through them all. I actually have to write down all of them into a new notebook just because I have so many. Normally, some of them make sense. Some of them, it's just random fights you want to see, and that's cool. This one, I can kind of see why you'd put him. The Ghost Rider, Danny Phantom is the Ghost Boy. He's got Ghost. So I can kind of see the similarities there. Ghost Rider is the spirit of vengeance. Normally, he's possessed a couple different people over the years, but we'll just go with the standard Johnny Blaze one. So Johnny Blaze is a stunt rider. He's got basically just skills of a stunt rider. But when the Rider comes out, he is pretty... He's been described that when the Rider is at full capacity, he is on the level of a deity. He's on the level of a god. But when him and Johnny are in disconnect, which is oftentimes a lot, he's still just an extremely powerful supernatural being. His strength technically doesn't have any true limits, but it's well into the upper tier of the Marvel Universe. He can trade blows with individuals like the Juggernaut or Hulk when he has to. Other times, though, he can just get a roundhouse kick from Deadpool and be, it's oh, that hurt. But, he'll just regenerate because he has no real set weakness except for maybe holy items. Holy items for us in heaven. Anyone who's capable of doing some sort of spiritual, seance thing to maybe exercise the Rider, which has happened on occasions. Things along those lines can affect him. But he has, most earthly forms of harm don't hurt him. He'll just, if he gets smashed and the head gets crushed under a boulder, his head will just regenerate. Bullets won't hurt him. Hell, a missile, a nuclear, a warhead, a atomic warhead will incinerate him, they'll reform, because there's nothing, now if you put, holy objects in there, it's like a holy bomb. Theoretically, that could actually work, which makes you wonder why they never tried that before. That'd be an interesting thing. It's been a while since I've read any Ghost Rider comics, so maybe they have done that before at this point. Just basically bathed an entire missile in holy water and radiation and blown them up. That would be kind of cool to see if they try that in the comics. But of course, he is also he's the spirit of vengeance. He used to be a spirit of justice, but now he's a spirit of vengeance. And being a kind of demonic-esque figure a little bit, Hell's chief bounty hunter kind of. He's emboldened with a lot of abilities, including the ability to manipulate hellfire. He's got those chains he uses that can be manipulated psychically, extend, be lit on fire. As I said, hellfire manipulation. Some kind of levels of manipulation on that front. And, of course, his patented Penance Stare. Penance Stare, obviously, is a demonic... I think it's demonic. Or just, a vengeance angel ability of his that allows him to basically... inflict all... It doesn't kill an individual. It basically seals you in your own body, inflicts all the pain you've ever felt onto yourself. Your soul is tainted with the bad blood of ours. Feel their pain. 1,000 souls to burn. All that stuff. So, yeah. Now, it does not work on anyone who does not have a soul. And it will not work on someone who is justified. And it possibly doesn't work on alien beings as well. It doesn't work on Venom. But I don't think they've ever fully explained why it didn't work on Venom, whether he feels justified or if he's just because he's an alien. But like someone without a soul, like Blackheart doesn't work on him. He tried using it on the Hulk, and basically he looks at the Hulk and uses it, and then he goes, "No, he's justified. It doesn't work on innocents. It doesn't work on innocent people. It doesn't work on those who are actually justified in their actions. Like the Hulk when he came back for World War Hulk. No, he's justified." So yeah, Danny Phantom, the Ghost Boy. He is, he's Danny Phantom. He's just I think he's a 15 or 16-year-old kid by the end of the series. So we'll go to the upper end. So at that point, his body's developed a little bit, but he's still kind of a scrawny kid. Really, his abilities come from the fact that when he goes ghost. When he goes ghost, he can lift somewhere upper in the 10-ton range. He's got all the ghost abilities. He can fly around 112 miles an hour. That's likely to become faster. He can phase through objects. He can shoot ecto beams. He can possess individuals. He can create shields. He can duplicate himself. He has an ice breath. He has a sonic wail. He's got a lot of different abilities, but he's still just a kid. And in this world, ghosts can legitimately die, apparently. Like, they're not just dead people. They're like, they're different creatures. So it's kind of weird on that regard. Danny also has some mild combat experience, being raised by his dad and mom who are ghost hunters, as well as just having experience brawling with ghosts in general. So, does that. Also, he can kind of, despite the fact his grades aren't the best, he's kind of an outside thinker. He can think on the fly, and, hunting ghosts does allow you to, basically learn to think creatively in some regards. So, there is that. So, yeah. Put these two against each other. Let's say Ghost Rider is coming through Danny Phantom's Amityville. That was it. It was Amityville. It's Amityville horror. I remember why they did that. Amityville. So yeah, Danny's coming through there, or Ghost Rider's coming through there. Danny, and maybe he sees seeing a couple spirits. Like, I gotcha. And then that happens, and then Danny comes in and just blasts him out of the way and just, hey, but it's my town. And a blast from Danny immediately, I think, would at least hurt Ghost Rider a little bit, because remember, it's an ecto, it's a ghost blast, so it probably, it won't do any lasting damage, but it would be something that hurts Ghost Rider a little bit. It's like, get out of here. And he looks at Danny and immediately sees that it looks like a kid, so maybe he's gonna give him the benefit. It gives him the benefit of that. He's like, yeah, no problem. It's like, no can do, buddy. Freezes his bike. The Hellfire just melts the bike, and Ghost Rider's like, all right, and just throws the chain up. Whoa! And then Danny goes intangible. And I would imagine that, see, the way ghosts work, ghosts have actual solid form, but the intangibility is a big thing usually. So, I don't know. Ghosts in Marvel world are generally incorporeal beings. So, and I imagine Ghost Rider could still wrap his chains around those guys. I can't remember if he has been, but for the sake of this, because the ghosts work differently in Danny's area, I would say that maybe the Hellfire, the chain goes through Danny, but it still makes Danny, it still kind of burns Danny, even though he's incorporeal. So he's like, ugh. It's like, what? He heard me while I was intangible. It's like, and even Ghost Rider's like, normally I can grab you. It's like, but it's like, and then he just runs out, just drives his bike. Is he driving his bike up a building? It's like, whoa. And then he comes in, just blasts him. It's like, whoa. And then, Ghost Rider comes in, just Hellfire's like, whoa. And then Danny just wails, just, just counteracts the fire they get flying. Ghost Rider goes flying back. Even he's just like, ugh. It's like, fine then. Pulls out a gun, like, kind of, because he can use firearms too. Fires it, just, Danny just, whoa. It's like, comes in again. Danny flies in at like 112 miles an hour, just whams into Ghost Rider. Boom! Just smacks him. Danny's hand's burning, but it's like, I can't touch that guy. Kind of like Fright Night a little bit. Fright Night's kind of Ghost Rider-esque. So, if Ghost Rider sounds like, okay, this kid's really starting to annoy me. So he just pulls his chains out. Chains suddenly grabbed it. It's like, oh, it's like, get out of here. It's like, I can't think of, I'm never good at figuring out dialogue. So he comes up, Ghost Rider comes up and like, looks into him, like, look into my eyes. And then he just looks at Danny for a little bit, and then he realizes, no, it's just a kid. This kid's not evil. He's not mean. In fact, he's anything. He's a good guy. And immediately just, Penster's not going to work on him. If anything, he's a victim because he got these powers, and people keep trying to attack his loved ones. So, yeah, immediately Ghost Rider's Penster doesn't work, and he realizes, no, you're just a kid. It's like, fine. It's like, yeah, just a kid, but I'm also the I'm not just a kid. I'm Danny Phantom. This wails in Ghost Rider's face. Just, and Ghost Rider point blank. That rattles his bones. Even a couple of his bones start to kind of like shake and even shatter a bit. Granted, they kind of reform. They reform after a little bit, but again, he's Ecto, so Danny can at least kind of temporarily damage Ghost Rider, I imagine. Again, being a supernatural being in his own right. So now Danny's like, chill out, dude, just freezes him in place. And now Danny's kind of huffing and puffing, taking a lot of energy out. It's like, chill out, bonehead, and then just ice melts. Just, it's like, yeah. It's like, yeah. And then just grabs him again with the jeans. Like, yeah, you should do the same. And then Danny, at last ditch, tries to possess him. And that's a mistake because there's like the writer. It's like, here, get out of here, and then just forces Danny. It's like, it's like, look, kid, you're not evil, you're not anything, you're not evil, you're not corrupt or anything like that. Just a kid. And it's like, so just leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. Deal. Then Danny just, then just kind of a boom, and just knocks Danny out. It's like, and then end the fight. So the reason Danny loses the fight is pretty much this. Power-wise, he doesn't have anywhere. Danny's not a god on any. Wow, that was a weird phrase. Danny's not a god on any level. And even though, and we're not even using god level Ghost Rider. If we were using god level Ghost Rider, Danny wouldn't have a chance. But because Danny's innocent, Ghost Rider's not. Is just a kid. He's innocent. He's just trying to help people. Ghost Rider's not going to kill him. At least not, especially if he tries using the pen there and looks into his soul and realizes, no, you're fine. You're just a kid. Just go away. Danny doesn't have any sort. Even if he had, it should be noted. You could make the argument he could try using the thermos. Problem is the thermos works on ghosts. Ghost Rider's and maybe some supernatural beings. Problem is Ghost Rider isn't a ghost despite his name. He is a spirit in a living body. He actually has a physical body. And he's far more powerful than any real spirit that Danny's tried to go up against, or use the thermos against. I mean, think of it this way. Granted, you can make the argument, and I'm saying granted a lot, but granted, you can make the argument that I believe he did get sealed in the thermos, Danny did, so you can make the argument that thermos could seal Ghost Rider, but Ghost Rider would probably automatically try to destroy the thermos, so I think that's a no-go. And even if he didn't, he would also try to just avoid the thermos at all costs. And I think he could probably break out of the thermos. But again, being, it's a weird thing. Now that I bring up the thermos, it is a weird kind of Deus Ex Machina kind of thing. Because I normally don't give Danny access to the ghost gear, the ghost catching gear, like the gauntlets or the belt or anything like that. So normally I don't do that. But he does normally carry the thermos on him to catch ghosts. So I'm actually now at odds of whether or not the thermos would work on Ghost Rider, because Danny's been sealed in the thermos before, I'm certain. Vlad's never been sealed in the thermos. A lot of powerful ghosts have been sealed in the thermos, but honestly, Ghost Rider could probably take on any of the ghosts in Danny Phantom, be it Vortex, the Weather Ghost, Vlad, Pariah Dark, that Ghost Emperor guy. I think, and he was arguably one of the strongest ones, if not the strongest one. I fully imagine, though, that he could probably take him on. He's a powerful ghost, but he's not like a true god level individual. If we're going like a full power Ghost Rider could take on, even a low power Ghost Rider could probably take on the majority, if not all, the ghosts in Danny Phantom. Just because most of the ghosts in Danny Phantom are more nuisances and barely have power to affect a town, let alone affect an area bigger than that. Ghost Rider has power beyond that, even in low form. So I'm going to say that Thermos could affect Ghost Rider, but Ghost Rider would find a way around the Thermos. So in that regard, then, I actually do have to give Danny at least a couple percentages of wins. Because normally, I was about to say, Danny can't win a fight with Ghost Rider. But with the Thermos, I kind of have to take that back just a little bit. I think there is at least a small scenario where the Thermos maybe seals the spirit temporarily, which gives Danny a technical win. But overall, no, I give Ghost Rider the majority wins, obviously. I'll go 95%. 95% of the time Ghost Rider wins, but I think when you factor the Thermos as the little Deus Ex Machina there, yeah, I gotta maybe give Danny a 5% win on that. Granted, the Thermos probably wouldn't hold him very long, or it wouldn't be. And here's the thing: if he tried, here's the real kicker. Even if it held him and he put him in the Ghost Zone, the Spirit immediately will just come back out and go back to wherever he wants to go. So it's kind of a moot point in that regard. But yeah, I could theoretically see that being an actual scenario where Danny wins. Overall, though, no, I give because. And there's a reason I've never had to give Danny the Thermos in any of these fights, because he's never gone up against the individual who's technically a ghost in any of the fights I've put him up against. Put him up against Ben 10. No. Put him up against Aang. No. Put him up against Pac-Man. No. So, yeah, put him up against Martian Manhunter. Nope. So, yeah, this is the first time where the Thermos actually does come into play a bit. Yeah. But no, still 95% Ghost Rider, 5% Danny, just on the virtue of the Thermos alone. But hey, what do you think? Do you think different? That's cool. Put in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do let's have a fun discussion about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Super Rare, Magic, What If, anything I do on this channel, put in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to it at some point. The Who Would Wins will continue on. I don't know if I'm going to do one on Tuesday. I probably won't do one on Tuesday. Just because I'm going to be doing one on Wednesday, Friday, because I'm upping that schedule again, just to remind anyone who's not very keyed on to that. So maybe I'm going to say the new monthly Who Would Win for next week, not this coming week, but the following week, because that's when the first official week of June. So I'll save that for then, and I'll just do the one that I have there. Yeah, I know how I'm going to do it. Also, What If will be up later today. It's not going to be as back-to-back like these two videos were. I'm going to save it for a little later because I got to write out the information for that. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This week, again, it's either going to be a Drift, Upgrade, or Action Point. Here's the thing. Among the three of them, the one I'd really like to see is Upgrade. That looks like just fun. Guy basically gets an implant to help him walk in. It's got sentience to it, like an AI. So if he says, you can take control, he pretty much just becomes an automatic killing machine. Just boop, 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 boop. What's going on? It's like, please stop, please. Oh, God. So it's like that. So it's like fun. It looks like a lot of fun. But it's only getting 1,400 screens this week. So we'll see if there's a showtime. If there's a showtime, that's probably the one I'm going to be at. If there's not, it's either a Drift or Action Point. I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of interest in Action Point. I've never been a big fan of the Jackass guys. So Johnny Knoxville's not a big, I'm not a big proponent of Knoxville. Not that I hate him or anything. He can be funny. But, it is what it is. But, whatever I don't see, I'm going to see at least one of them the following Tuesday. That's generally how it works these days. So I see more movies. I'm able to, get my take on more than just the big stuff that comes out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you